Okay, we're now moving on to the third question, which is about staying safe. First of all, I would like to pass the microphone to Ian Ashton, and then to Sean Dempsey and Sam Hurst.
No, they're asking the question. Sean.
We are no. What's that? Isolation affects how vulnerable people feel. It also affects health. The key is being healthy, safe, and well. And our good relationships with people are not paid to be in our lives, family, and friends.
Sam?
Yesterday at the conference, we decided to expect you to make sure that our friendships and relationships are taken as seriously as yours. We will keep asking you how you are going to make sure of that every time we meet. What will you do to make sure that people are supported to make real friends, stay close to families, and are safe in their communities, so isolation is something we do not have to worry about?
I'll respond first in relation to the safe in our communities. First of all, what I want to say is everybody in this room and everybody has the right to go about their day-to-day business and live their lives without fear of provocation of violence, threats or harassment. And it's up to you as individuals to report incidents and crimes to us as the police. Lancashire Constabulary have invested quite a lot of time and money over the last 9 months in training all our frontline staff in recognising issues around hate crime, in particular disability-related hate crimes and hate incidents. And you must have the confidence to come to us, because if you do, we will treat it seriously. I know from speaking to victims that the biggest thing for people who are victims is that they just want it to stop. So it might never get to court, someone might never go to prison, but if you report it to us, there is still something that we can do. That might just be something as simple as the victim being given a letter of apology by the offender, because that's part of the education that they needed. So whatever happens, there is a way that we can deal with it, but we need you to be confident to come and report it to us. I've no doubt Stephen Brooks yesterday spoke about the third-party reporting centre that we have in Blackpool. Another one is being opened tomorrow in Blackburn, and then we are currently looking at one in Lancaster area as well, where specifically people from the disability community can go and report things there, and then what happens then is they'll make contact with a specialist like myself who deals with hate crimes and hate incidents, and I'll come out and do a joint visit. I might not be in uniform, I might be in jeans and a t-shirt, but I'll come out and deal with you and look after you and sort things out for you as best I can, and that's what we're here for. So please, please, whatever you take away from this conference, from my point of view, it's have the confidence to ring us or to speak to us, because somebody will come out, they will understand, and they will deal with it in the best way that they can. So please do that. I will hang around afterwards for a short time, so if you want to speak to me specifically about anything, feel free to come and speak to me about it, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Form an orderly queue.
Well, hate crime, disability hate crime, wouldn't have been on the phone. Sorry about this. It's the Great Escape tune. But it was the National Forum that fought for disability hate crime in 2005. And it was down to a guy called Keith Shortman who fought for disability hate crime. And it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the National Forum in 2005. But I've been adding on that when I was on the National Forum about mate crime. And this is where people take advantage of people who pretend they're friends or take advantage in providers as well. And I've been working on this in my other role on this mate crime stuff because we've got an organisation in Yorkshire who's been working with a pilot project in Calderdale called ARC. And I know they came to the North West Regional Forum to talk about it. And it's about keeping people safe. And in Selby, I've got every counsellor trained on hate crime and mate crime. And we've also got shops in our area where there's reporting centres for people and people can go there and be kept safe. Yep, and we've also, if you want to, we've got a whole structure in North Yorkshire where we're working around this and it's a good example of work across the country. Because I've also got dustbin men, postmen, where people can report things and notice things as well. And we've been training them in the Selby area.
Yeah, that's commendable. Just one other thing I do want to clarify with everybody here, that we talk a lot about hate crimes, okay? And to me, there's no difference between a hate crime and a hate incident, okay? A crime is something that there's a piece of legislation, a piece of law that supports it. So criminal damage, an assault, something like that is a crime. However, if you are verbally abused and it doesn't warrant a crime, you still report it to the police and we will still deal with it. Okay, so if people are making comments to you or saying nasty things to you and you might not think it's a crime, still report it to us because we will still look into it and still investigate it. Okay, so don't get confused around the crime incident. If it feels wrong and it's not right and you're offended and you're upset by it, speak to someone like me, we'll deal with it.
Just picking up on the isolation point that was mentioned, and here's the NHS and social care working in partnership here. So my colleague told me that in terms of a health impact, isolation has the same impact as obesity. And I certainly know for older people, social isolation is the biggest factor that contributes to people going into long-term care. All those things people don't always recognise. I think there's an issue when we try and respond to isolation, because if you take it from a health or social care point of view, you can try and over-engineer it. You can try and do things to people to help them, but actually that doesn't always work. So I'm having a conversation on the Cumbria table, and one lady mentioned actually it wasn't about we were talking about funding, and it was mentioned that actually instead of having funding for day centres, shouldn't we have some funding that goes into apprenticeships? And actually, if you get into work and you get a wider network of friends and people around you doing the things that your neighbours do, then that isolation starts to change. And I think there's a responsibility on all of us to look at that in a different way, rather than just trying to commission services to help people.
Sorry, Karen, before you start, we are short of time, so could you?
No, I can't. We said it. Yeah.
I know. We are short of time, that's
No problem. One thing is, right, is like this lady said, yeah, to stop the hate crime and all like that happening, it is important that you live by family and friends, because that's where it really helps, because they have people to trust. The police are doing a good job. The problem is the system and that, the courts and that. Because what happened at Winterbourne, where the fella abused someone, got 2 years, and that, what was a joke, and that, and has walked away, can walk away. Other people got community service. If you do that to a person with learning disability, you get 2 years or community service. Go and do it to a person out there and you could get 8 to 10 years. And why are we treated different to other people when people are getting brought to court? And the courts, we need to change. The police are already doing a good job. It's the others what are not.